Look, there's no more reasons anymore to why you and your business cannot be turning over at least 100k per year. Now, don't get me wrong with saying that there are a lot of influencers and articles and everything out there saying exactly this, but the bit that they obviously don't kind of point out is that it's not easy. There is a time scale, like you can't just do this overnight. Don't get me wrong, some people probably have. I am going to put that down to luck. But getting to 100k, it's pretty much like a 7-step process, or there's 7 factors to doing it. And this is what personally I've helped do with countless people, it's what I've helped do for myself. And it really does work. And a lot of it's prioritizing. Some of these might sound obvious, but unless you focus on them and then plan with them and set goals with them, you're not going to achieve 100k a year. And that's just a starting point. You know, technically, if you want to get to 10k a month, 120k a year, that's called maths, that's even better. But if you just want to get to 100k a year, let's break it down into 7 simple steps. One of the things I've noticed I've not done on these videos is actually say how I am. So hello, my name's Callum, and I own an agency called Tuga, which is where we grow businesses focusing on their operations and funnels. So my job is to literally make businesses bigger, whether that's in scalability, their team, etc., etc. Hence why I'd like to think I know what I'm on about in this video. Here's the things that I would point out to anyone that's trying to grow towards their 100k target per year, if you're not there already or you can't really see fully how to get there. So all of these points, if I'm really honest, aren't exactly in a particular order. I've just looked at everything from notes with clients, what process I normally work with, and what they work with, and also looked at a lot of other videos before doing this, looked at a lot of articles before doing this video, just to make sure that the bits that I think are what you will get if you also research how to get to 100k. And I was pleasantly surprised that every single one of them were on a list. Don't get me wrong, some of these lists were like 15 points. I picked 7. 7's quite a nice number for YouTube. So yeah, I've picked 7 of the top ones that I work on with my clients, and what I've also found myself, and what also I know other people have found, such as other business friends within their business. Done my research, I've got the experience, I've got the stamp on the t-shirt, so here we go. Okay, so point number 1 is kind of simple. It's a very obvious one. It's expanding your team. And I know people are going to go, oh, well, yeah, I know about expanding my team. The first thing, if you're getting there and you haven't got this person, is get an assistant or a virtual assistant. Before you start looking at account managers and developers or people to deliver your service, for you to help get to 100k, you need to actually give someone the shitty things that you can't be asked to do. So get a virtual assistant. I know loads of them. Like, I've actually grown a black book of assistants. You can find them on LinkedIn, you can find them on Upwork, you can find them on Fiverr. Don't just go for someone in a cheap country, if I'm really honest, just because of possibly time differences, language barriers, and depending on the task that you're wanting to do for them. I do recommend someone that you can talk to quite easily. They're in the same time zone as you, so they're working at the same time as you are. But get an assistant. Get a virtual assistant is probably the first thing I could tell you to do. It's the first thing I make all my clients do. I've technically got 3 of them. But when you get a virtual assistant, the biggest tip I'm going to give you with this is get them to stay in their lane of what you're wanting to do, because they can offer lots of different services. They can do an array of different things, from social media to admin to diary management to everything else. But the reason why I'm saying not to do that is because you wouldn't hire a full-time employee and get them to do 5 people's jobs. So why would you expect a virtual assistant to do the exact same? You need them to stay in their lane and do what they're doing. So I have someone for marketing. I have someone for like diary, calendar management and emails. And I have another one that is my general all-around hands-on person. So we just have a massive to-do list. They just go in there, pick things off it, edit them, move them to them doing them, tick them off. Everything from, I think it was even like check all my affiliation payouts work and make sure all my clients' birthdays are in my calendar. All them little tasks was really good. And that's how I work with all my VAs. So I would recommend getting one to just start getting your admin stuff too, such as maybe client communications and so on, just to make your life easier and get some time back. Then start building your team. So from there, then start getting the product development person, the client liaison, the account manager, whatever you want. Then you can start that way. But building your team, figure out your key hire. There's loads of videos on this. I might do on this myself, but figure out your key hire, then start from there. But like I said, get the assistant first, so then you can start getting time back for yourself. Then you can focus on doing your team. Because if you just bring someone in and you haven't got the time to train them, you're kind of throwing them in the deep end, that ain't going to go well. It don't go well anywhere. So it's not going to go well for you. You need to get time back before you bring someone in. Now, expanding your team ties into my second point for getting to 100K, which is simply, if you want to get to £100,000 a year in your business, start hiring freelancers and stop focusing on hiring full-time employees. And there's several reasons why. First point for that is simply cash flow. It's amazing. It's so much easier for you to focus on cash flow with them because of their payment terms, tying in with your terms. Some people actually talk about contract arbitrage, which is simply where the client pays you up front for the month at the beginning, but you don't pay the freelancer until the end. So therefore, for the whole month, you've got cash flow. It's not coming straight in, it's not going straight out. It helps, it's flexible, no matter what happens, you've got cash flow. So contractor arbitrage is great, especially when using freelancers in particular, because the client pays you up front at the beginning of the month, you pay the freelancer at the end, but then also you don't have to worry about benefits. You can get rid of them whenever you want, dependent on their terms. You know, they're not an employee. You don't have to go through the disciplinary route. You don't have to do all these other things. If you want to get to 100K, grow your team using freelancers until, in my opinion, you're touching, honestly, 250, maybe even 500K. And even then, I genuinely would say stick on the freelancer route. By that point, you may need, obviously, a few more full-timers. The freelancers may be full-time for you. It's just the flexibility that comes with it. But yeah, if you want to get to 100K, grow your team using freelancers. Stop worrying about full-time employees. It's an absolute headache. It's not going to help you accomplish anything. Just do it that way. It makes your life so much easier. So over the last few years, a lot of influencers, people on social media, YouTube, they've started talking more about remote closers and appointment setters. And if you really do want to get to 100K, and once again, I'm bearing in mind this with cash flow, expanding your team, and so forth, appointment setters, sales closers, whichever one you want to do, qualifying new leads is going to be one of the best things for you to get to 100K. I've literally just brought my own in to do this because I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing this for clients. Why do I not have one for myself? And this person's job is to literally find you more business. And the reason why they're perfect is the role is completely commission based. So you set KPIs, you can set your targets, but then it's commission based. Don't get me wrong, the commission is hefty. It's a nice commission because it's completely dependent on them getting you qualified leads and them converting. But their job is to go out, find them, nurture them, qualify them, and close them on commission. Like, a lot of people may have heard of this. You may not have one. You may not have heard of this. You know, want one. You can find a lot of them on websites such as like Upwork and Fiverr, LinkedIn once again. But in particular, if you go on Instagram, you can find a lot of people that maybe run like a closers program or the sort of course. They've got a portfolio of people that have bought it. So if you just chat to them and go, hi, I'm looking for someone that does this, they'll ask you a couple of questions. And they'll probably throw you in their Discord channel, their community chat, or they'll send someone your way. But that, honestly, like the fact you can then, to an extent, get rid of lead gen onto someone else from purely on you, or get someone additional to you to go and do it, that's great, because the keyword was obviously in that was qualified leads. They were the keywords, because they could get you every Tom, Dick and Harry, but if they're crap, why would you want them? If they're not going to be the ticket price that you want, why would they get them? So they're great in particular for getting the high ticket clients, but then also for qualifying your leads. And it is a game changer, absolute game changer, because literally sole person's job is to just get you leads. And it's an amazing way of doing it. So that's my next point, is simply go get an appointment setter, go get a closer, normally the same person, sometimes might not be, and that will easily help you get to 100K. So if you really want to get your business to 100K a year, one of the biggest things that you really need to focus on, and I pride myself on this, is simply growing your network. So I've networked for the 5 years that I've been in business, and I'm very good at it, and I pride myself on it. I can go into most situations where networking is an element of that, and I can dominate it. I'm naturally very good at it because I learned a lot from people that I've networked for years. I picked up their skills. But the biggest thing that came from it was I really started to understand that network equals net worth. And if you want to obviously increase your business, your revenue, your knowledge, everything else, you need to get into higher networks. And by that, you need to focus on building a little black book of connections, whether that is a literal book, a spreadsheet, or anything like that. But if you want to get into that network of them people that are at the caliber you want to be, or work with the people you want, you have to work to it. And I'll be honest, there's no secret recipe to do it. Like, it's work, it's dedication, it's a skill that you really, really need to work on. But when you do, you really need to nurture your network. And that will be meals, drinks, checking in, keeping in touch with them. And if you want to get into their network, you have to make the effort. They've already got their network. These people already have it. You know, if you want to get into it, you have to make the effort with them. It's hard work, but it pays off like there is no tomorrow. To the point now for myself, I am known to be very credible, quite authoritative with my network. To the point I had a client ask me if I knew a deaf interpreter. I didn't. I found one in under 4 hours. That's simply because I was able to tap into my network, who then was able to ask someone of theirs. I vetted them, I jumped on a call with them before I passed them to my client, because why would I pass them that way on my credibility if I don't know who they are? Even if it's been a recommendation from someone else, I'm then still passing it to my client and it's on me. So I jumped on a call with them, had a chat with them about the situation, and then passed them on. And that person is now in my network because they like the fact that I've passed them on to some more business, and it turns out they're quite popular and they're quite a big person. So it really does matter, and you've got to do it. So when you go into affluent countries such as Dubai, the UK, America, anywhere like that, affluent cities, some of these areas literally, or places, can be as simple as going to a fancy hotel and working in the reception, or going to a nicer independent coffee shop that's co-working, or going to a co-working space. This is what I'm talking about for you to get to 100k. Go to these places where these people are and push yourself out your comfort zone. Obviously, there's nothing happens in your comfort zone. You've got to get uncomfortable, but you've really got to start going to these places and thinking, where do these people eat, drink, work, network? And when you do, you'll start learning that a lot of these people have private WhatsApp groups. They'll have private membership clubs. Everything like this will get you to where you want to be. And building your network out, to be fair, out of this whole 100k thing, for me, probably the most important. If I'm really honest, it's one of the biggest things you can do, because you can build everything else, you can build a team, everything like that. But if you haven't got a network that you can tap into, you are screwed, completely screwed. So build on your network. My next point for if you want to get to 100k a year with your business is simply focusing on your funnels. I will end up doing loads of videos on these if I haven't already, but you need to focus on your funnels and simply sales and marketing. Where are people going? Acquisitions. I've already talked about sales closers. Everything like this is all part of your funnel, and you really need to optimize them. Keyword there, optimize. Because you'll already have them, but is it a smooth process? Is it structured? Is it built? And then, you know, is the onboarding process, which is part of your funnel, easy? Is it smooth? You know, all these things in your funnels need to be shit hot, and they need to be. And it's probably the smooth thing you need to do. Whether part of your funnel also is lead magnets, a landing page, a web page, whatever's at the top of your funnel needs to be amazing. It needs to be on brand. Once again, shit hot. And it needs to be optimized and everything done through it. If you have a funnel that is not optimized, you are an idiot. And that's me being frank and truthful. You are. Because you have one, but you need to optimize it. Everyone has one. No matter what. No matter how far you are in business, everyone has a funnel, because you will be getting business from somewhere, you'll be marketing somewhere, and you need to optimize it. And it's the biggest thing I really bang on about. Like I say, check out other videos that I do on this, but funnels is the biggest thing that you need to do alongside the networks. Once again, so you meet a network, then, or you qualify a lead through a sales closer, you then need to convert them. So they're going to your funnel. Where do you nurture them? Where's the acquisition? Where's the onboarding process? Everything. Like, honestly, like I say, I'm not going to witter on about this, but please just optimize your funnels. If you don't, you will not get to 100k. Also, when it comes to your funnels, one of the biggest things I'm passionate about massively, like ridiculously passionate about, is data. Data is king. You can't go anywhere without data in your business, whether it's from marketing, your funnels, anything like that. You need people's data. You need to find it somewhere. You need to get it. And in particular, I'm huge on, if you have a Facebook group, your Instagram's great, your LinkedIn's awesome, yada, yada. That's great. But they hold everyone's data. They have all your followers. They have all your connections. They have all your inboxes. They have all the data. We need to get it. And the best way for that is your funnels, whether it's to your website and then through a contact us form, or through a lead magnet, or through a webinar, whichever way you want to do it. One way or another, you have to get their data, because that is the literal gold dust for what you need to grow your business. And that's why funnels are so important, and they need to be optimized. If you really want to get to 100k a year for your business, seriously focus on your offers, in particular a high ticket offer. I'm going to point out that it is easier to sell 4 offers at £2,500 pound dollars than it is trying to sell 10 1,000 offers, because you've got to find 10 clients, whereas if you can find 4, it's easier. Obviously, I know you can keep going up in them increments, then you go, well, why can't I just find 1 client for 100k for the year? Well, you can if you really wanted, but that's not what we're here for. So focus on a high ticket offer, and then that way you can have more money, less clients, more time. That way it's a lot easier. But there is a downside to this. If you get to that point and you push and then you're just like, oh, that's great, like I've got X amount of clients now, that's bringing exactly the numbers I want. All you need is something to happen, lose 2, 3, 4 of them clients, you are So bear that in mind when it comes to that. Whereas with 10 at 1,000, if you lose 2, it's not as detrimental to your cash flow. You've still got another 8 clients, you've still got another 8 grand coming in. So it is easier to do that, but there is a counter to it, which is if you lose multiple clients, you are whereas if you've got more clients, obviously, it's not going to be as big as an impact. I'd like to think that's obvious because you're watching this, because hopefully you're in business. That is one of the big things. So you need to really, really focus on that element when doing it. But selling a high ticket offer, obviously is going to get to 100k. Once again, I'd actually like to think that you know this, and it is an obvious point, but what can you sell at a high ticket offer? How many of them can you sell to get to where you want? You might have an offer at £1,000, but you want to bring a high ticket offer in. That's going to be great for bringing in the cash flow for you. So if you really want to get there though, focus on obviously selling high ticket offers, because it is easier, but like I said, the detriment. If you lose everyone, you have. One of my final points, which is something I've been working on in particular for growing my business. It's really contributed in the past, but I've always done it really passively. I've never actively focused on it, is growing your personal brand. And I have a feeling that as I post this, a few of my friends and connections will be in the personal branding space, so they'll get why I'm saying it, but there has never been a more right time to grow a personal brand and focus on a personal brand. And doing that will really make you grow your business to 100k plus a year. And the reason why is because several reasons. They learn who you are, so therefore they convert from you. You become an authority figure in what you do, plus lots of other reasons. And building a personal brand is one of the biggest things for which people such as Ali Abdaal, Liam Porritt, Alex Hormozi, controversial, but Andrew Tate, and all these other people have been able to do to build their personal brand, and it has blown them up. It is one of the biggest things you should do and need to be doing now to grow your business. And if you're not doing that, you probably already do it. I do want to point out, you probably already do it like I was doing, passively. You're not actively building your personal brand. You're not working on it. You don't know who you are or what you talk about, what you're posting about, and you're just winging it. But it's one of the biggest things you can work on to grow you and your business, and it will definitely get you to a 6-figure mark. Now, throughout the whole of this video, like I've said, this is stuff that I've learned from myself, from working with clients, from other business friends, watching influencers, and also from online and books and so forth. This works, and I know it does because proof is in the pudding. It is all active stuff. You have to do it. And it all may sound obvious, and it's obvious things that you need to do, because it is obvious. It's obvious on how you need to get to 100k, and there is no reason anymore to why you cannot get there. Or even get into a 10k a month. It is so easy to get there now. I'm not saying it's not hard work, but it's easy to do it and it's so possible. The only person that'll be stopping you from doing that is simply yourself. So there are the 7 things I do and will do and will carry on doing and work with clients on for growing a business to 100k plus a year. Get started. There's no better time than right now. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.